Welcome, viewers. You are welcome to a brand new episode of Sister right here on Citi TV. And you are also listening to us on 97.3 Citi FM and also watching us on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. In case you're joining us for the first time, this is that show that allows you share all your issues, your frustrations, your problems for advice from the sisters. And of course, I'm going to be introducing the sisters, but you can also send your message or letters to us through sisterlive@gmail.com. sisterlive@gmail.com. And my sisters obviously will be giving you the advice that you need. And remember that this show is actually sponsored by Ghana AIDS Commission, Red Ribbon Campaign, Onga, Mama's Helping Hand, and Kel's Kids Toothpaste. Now it's time for us to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we will be sharing the story of the day. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is Sister. And once more, I want to say a very big thank you to our sponsors, Ghana AIDS Commission, Red Ribbon Campaign, Onga, Mama's Helping Hand, and Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Now it's time for us to get into the first story of the day. But it's important that I introduce you to my sisters. All right, so I'm going to be starting with the lady in pink. It's no other person than Rosie. Hi, Rosie.
Hi, Chris.
Oh, Rosie, I love your energy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I can't wait for today's show.
Wait a minute.
I know. And the ever lovely Sichope, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
It was nice to see you at the bazaar that day.
It sure was.
And guys, Sichope cooks very well.
Ooh.
Her food, it was delicious. And Olivia,
Hi.
you're so pretty.
Oh, thank you. And so are you.
Oh, listen, her voice. Oh, thank you. All right, guys, are you ready for the first story?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's get into the first story and, hear what the sisters have to say about this story. Okay, so our first story of the day. My name is Yageti, and I have been married to my husband for 15 years. He is a good man, and he continues to provide all I could ever need and wish for in a marriage. However, I want to divorce him now. So, it all started 3 years ago when I consulted a local witch doctor about my husband's constant demands for sex. My husband can have sex with me every night of the week. I can only get free time at the time of the month. And that's her period. I was tired of his constant demands of sex, and so I had a conversation with my mom in which she introduced me to this local witch doctor with the aim of letting him only have sex with me only upon my request. The witch doctor then told me it was a simple thing to do. So he gave me a padlock with a key. The instructions were that when the padlock is locked, my husband will not experience an erection, talk less, even come to sleep with me. He added that anytime I want to sleep with him, I should then unlock it and we can have sex. Fast forward, I tried it the first night and it worked. Anytime my husband feels like having sex with me, he will try and try, but he will never get an erection. So out of frustration, he decided not to even start with me again until I make a move. He became so worried, but somehow, some way, I managed to convince him not to worry because it could happen. Or it could either be stress or anxiety. So this continued for 6 months until the unexpected happened. There was a leakage on our roof. So anytime it rains, we experience drops of water on our bed. So my husband asked that the roofing company come to fix it. We were all leaving for work. So I asked our house help to clean up the room when they were done. And that includes pushing the bed from its position to clean up all the dirt under the bed. I was at work around 3 p.m. and I remembered that the padlock from the witch doctor was hidden under the bed. I began to call for help, but to no avail. So I ran out of the office to go home. To my disappointment, she had cleaned up the room, including the padlock, and the same day, the rubbish collection car had come for our rubbish container. That was the end of my husband's manhood. Oh, it was padlock.
Yes.
I consulted the native. Oh my! I consulted the native doctor to reverse the charm, but he said he can only help when he finds the padlock. Later in the month, I met my university boyfriend who had returned to Ghana to settle at a cafe shop, and we started talking. One thing led to another, and we started having sex. I have fallen so deeply for my ex-boyfriend, and now that my husband's manhood is not working, I see no point of staying with him.
Wow.
I have also come to love sex now. Wow. I want to seek divorce, but I think I need to speak the truth now. I need to speak the truth now, believing he could listen to this program and go out there to seek spiritual help. Wow.
Wow.
That's a lot. But let it simmer down, ladies. Let's.
Sorry, like, I don't know whether to be angry. I don't know whether to laugh. I don't know whether, but
I'm speechless.
This girl is selfish. I'm sorry. Like, she's extremely selfish. And she's selfish, she's heartless. If it was a man, by now we'll all be bombarding him. Hey, what this man did is terrible. First and foremost, right? You have issues in your marriage, and it has to do with intimacy. No matter how terrible, no matter how much your husband is on you for sex, right? You have to talk about it. You both need to talk about it. You both need to understand to compromise, to say, okay, babe, I really enjoy it when we're intimate together, but it's a bit too much for me. Can we do this? Can we limit the number of times? What can we do? There's a proverb in Tree that goes by, "Asemba no na yede ka." When there's a situation that comes up, you talk about it. Yeah. But to run over to her mom, and her mom advised her to go to a fetish priest, you've padlocked your husband's penis, erection, manhood, everything, and it's gone, and now he can't have an erection to satisfy you, the same person who did not want to have anything to do with intimacy with your husband. Now you think it's convenient for you to be, you're actually cheating in your marriage with your ex-boyfriend. Like, at which point in time is all of this pointing to you in a positive light? Do you see? You didn't pray about the situation with your husband. You didn't speak to him about it. Now it's convenient. Now that his manhood isn't working to satisfy you, now it's convenient for you to walk out of the marriage because you met your ex-boyfriend, which you're shagging behind your husband's back. Like, everything is wrong, and now you actually want to leave your husband. Sweetheart, shame on you. Honestly, I don't know what kind of advice you want us to give you. Okay. You should be remorseful, but I don't think at this point in time you have what is called conscience. Somehow, I feel like this man is actually better off without you. But you need to tell him. And the fact that you're ready to leave him in that plight is what baffles my imagination, because you caused it. Now you're expecting him to get spiritual help. Who did it?
You, yeah.
Shouldn't you be on your knees praying to God, trying to figure out how to reverse this so that you can have your marriage back? Which brings me to the fact that, did you even love this guy to start with? Did you find his love making so irritating, so unbearable that you had to go that extra mile to make sure that you're not intimate with him? Like, you've got a serious problem. So, sorry, what advice is she? expecting us to give her.
I need to speak the
She's not
truth.
even asking for
She's not
advice.
asking advice.
She
Yeah.
wants the husband to hear it
Through this medium.
so the husband will advise himself.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's not like you're actually not even
No.
you're not even owning up responsibility to tell him.
No, she's
Now you're
ready to
using
move on.
No, well, she said, but I think I need to speak the truth.
Yeah.
She wants to speak the truth, but doesn't know how.
Yeah.
So that's why she's using this
Yeah.
medium to say, okay, if whoever, if your thing is not working, this is for you.
Go kneel in front of your husband and tell him that this is exactly what you did to him, and then your story, and include all the other bits of you cheating with him, cheating on him. Just include it all, because you've already killed him.
Yes.
And you know, at the end of the day, right, however we want to look at society, usually for men and families out there, you're taught to what? Go to school, get an education, get education. I say get education. What are you supposed to be doing? Working to be able to do what? Find a nice woman, settle down, have sex, enjoy sex, procreate. And you have taken that away from him. A man without an erection, without a working penis in today's Ghana, today's world, he's dead.
Yeah.
Like, how wicked can you be?
Right.
Tell him, let him know that you're the cause. And if I were you, I'd actually stand by him and try and do right by him, because you know what goes around comes around. And karma, as they say, today you think you've managed to go away free, it will seriously come back to you.
Right. Yeah. Teacher, what do you think?
You know, it's just unfortunate that some women can go this length just to get their way with people. It's really sad. First of all, in my opinion, I don't think this woman even loved this man to start with. Because when you love someone, everything... I remember there was a story a friend was telling me about how she doesn't like this guy, and even the mere touch of the guy annoys her. And it's so true. When you don't like people, the things you would have enjoyed with other people, it just becomes a nuisance to you with these people. And I think that's the situation she was in. Because even after she tried it the first night and it worked, they went 6 months without doing anything. This goes to show that you don't like this person that much. And then suddenly you find your ex, and then now you love sex. She did not love her husband. I think the man's good heart and everything, because she claimed the man was doing everything right. I think that's what probably propelled her to marry this person.
He provides.
Yes. And of course, every woman likes a man who provides. So I'm sure that's what pushed her into that marriage. Not necessarily for the fact that she loved the man. It's sad. What she's done is evil, is mean. And like Olivia rightly said, without his working penis, he's more like a vegetable now. You've destroyed his life. The fact that you couldn't find the key and the juju man is telling you he can't do anything without the padlock means you've messed him up. You even went to initiate this whole thing. How is he going to start to figure himself out even if you tell him the truth? So she's messed the man's life up, and I just feel terrible for the man, because nothing this girl is going to say is even going to change the situation as it is. Even if he divorces her and tries to move on with his life, things are not going to be the same any longer. She's a wicked woman, and I hope she pays for her sins. That's it.
All right. Rosie?
This woman is wicked.
Yeah.
There's nothing short of that. Look, people are in marriages, and after like a couple of years, they are in prayer camps and praying because their husband no longer wants to touch them. People are longing for their husbands, and after a few years, they are looking at other women. I'm sure she has children, and this man still adores you. Look, some of us, these are the things we live for. A man who wants you like
every day.
Any morning, afternoon, evening, serve it hot. You know what I mean? So, and the thing is, you see, you have a man who absolutely adores you. The question is, would you have preferred a man who would cheat on you so that you can share the responsibility with other women? You see, if he had also gone cheating, you would have complained.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the man is cheating on you with some other girl. You are going around, doing all kinds of things. And now this man wants to enjoy himself with you. And listen, I don't know. You see, when the mother, your daughter has come to you. And this is what is happening. Instead of counseling your daughter and telling your daughter, this is marriage, this is what it's all about. If you have a problem, try and talk to your husband. If for one reason or the other, you and the mother-in-law has a very good rapport with the son-in-law, Worst case scenario, you may want to step in. Worst case scenario. But to think that a mother is okay with her daughter sending the husband to a witch doctor.
Yeah.
So basically, she sends the daughter to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
for me, that is what
Speaks
hits
volumes.
me, because I can't imagine for the life of me going to my mother with a problem and my mother telling me that, oh, let's go and see a witch doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unheard of. Because you see, once you get married, whatever you do to your partner, you do to yourself.
Yeah.
You disrespect your partner, you're disrespecting yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you hurt your partner, you're hurting yourself. So at the end of the day, why would, let's assume she wasn't thinking straight because she really didn't love the man, blah, 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 blah. But you're the mother. I expected you to know better.
Yeah.
Now, you have gone to do all of this, locked this poor guy's manhood. Like you, both of you rightly said, a man without a working member, there's even no desire to work.
Preach, sister.
You can't, listen, what are the men working for?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Why are they going so much and wanting to be there? Yeah. You know, why are they working? Why are they hustling, doing all manner of things? Because one day they want to be able to take care of their home, and they want a woman to say, this is my husband in whom I am well pleased. And you've had, quote unquote, a perfect man for 15 years, and you threw all that away in a padlock yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Now check this. This your ex-boyfriend knows that you have gone to lock your boyfriend.
Yes,
Abi?
because definitely she
No
will tell
problem.
him. Yeah.
He's eating free lunch. There's a reason why he was your ex, right?
Exactly.
Now, he is now having free lunch from you. That means once a fool, probably he even broke up with you 2 or 3 times. Right?
Yeah.
You're like a 7th fool to him.
Yeah.
He's having free lunch. He doesn't want the responsibility of being with a woman who can do this with the husband.
Exactly.
The moment you divorce that man,
will
this
leave
man
you.
is not going to be your husband.
Yeah.
True.
And that'll be the beginning of it. And I pray that that happens. I pray that that happens to you, because you see, women should not be doing such things to speak evil of women, because there are women who are genuinely going through issues, and
True.
we are bashing the guys, like you said, women who are being disenfranchised, women who are not being loved properly. So to find a man who knows how to love a woman, and you do these things, it means that it's just justifying to the male public that women, if you treat them, fear women. If you treat them nicely, they're going to do this.
Yeah.
You know, they are genuine women who would appreciate that love, that care, that support. Like you lack nothing.
Yeah.
And as a woman, our hearts are built to love, to learn to love.
Yeah.
I keep saying, like, men love, you don't even know why they're loving, because they just decide to love and fine, that's it. But women, our hearts are designed to learn how to love. So you realize that we fall in love more, fine, the looks and the aesthetics is okay, but after some time we fall in love with the content, the very
inside.
essence, what's inside. So for you, after 15 years, you couldn't see the good in your husband, even though you can describe everything on paper.
That's why I said she didn't.
And you went ahead to toy with the very thing that makes him man. For him to qualify to be called a man, the very thing that makes him qualified to be called a man is the very thing you toyed with. My dear, I mean, it's evil.
Very evil. Very
It's
evil.
unheard of.
Yeah.
I'm sad, I'm angry, I can feel the frustration, but the man doesn't know yet. Now, assuming this man is listening now, I'm imagining that, you know how some years I'm like, hold on, is it me? No, is it me? Hold on, my marriage is 15 years. Hold on, could it be me?
Yeah.
Oh, recently they did some roof work, and then the man is just putting 2 and 2 together. I can imagine
how heartbroken he is.
what he's going through right now, straight to the mental institution. If he came home and killed you now.
This can make him commit suicide.
Yes,
Even
and
apart from committing suicide, he can harm her.
Yeah.
He can harm her
Exactly.
because you intentionally did this to me, and then
In
you
fact,
are cheating.
Divorcing him is the best thing because you don't deserve him.
Yeah.
Right.
Another thing I want to highlight on is the fact that I think we as women should stop following social media to want to run and get married for all the bad reasons aside from loving someone, because clearly This was not marriage born out of love. It was
Yes.
marriage born out of any other thing but love.
See, people get married not out of love. Look, our parents didn't marry because of love, but you see, they had a sense of responsibility and they appreciated good men.
Exactly.
I'm saying that yes, it's not every time that you can marry out of love, but at the end of the day, even if you don't marry out of love and you meet a good man, appreciate a good man.
Isn't it funny how she didn't complain about anything?
No, yes, exactly. It's just the sex. It's just the sex.
She's like,
complaining.
provide. All he did.
No,
is
because
one
you know,
day-
because
Here
clearly
women
she
complain
said,
about
no.
the fact that the man is not having enough sex with me. But this case, he's having too much sex.
No,
It's
because
just
you know,
wrong.
clearly she said he is a good man and he continues to provide all I could ever need and
imagine?
wish for in a marriage. So he does everything
Yeah.
that she actually needed,
Yeah.
not even one needed.
So where was she expecting him to go and have extra sex from? Like Rosie said, outside the
Yeah,
marriage.
no, but you know,
his
but you
eggs
see-
in one basket.
Yeah.
And then he's enjoying of his basket.
Finish.
So my dear, maybe I don't know. I
No,
don't
no,
know.
you know, like for me,
It's sad.
the question I'm asking is, okay, during the courting stage, even if they had a courting stage, what was happening? I'm sure they had sex. So you should have known this is the kind of man I'm
Exactly.
probably going to marry.
And you stomach it for 15 years.
Yes.
15, exactly. That's what even baffles me. If you're able to stomach it for 15 years, how many more years does the guy actually have? No, honestly.
15 years of fake orgasms.
Yeah.
No. But even talking about fake orgasms, I have
I'm
a
saying that
big
she's
problem
being
with
mean
most
to women
women
herself.
who fake orgasms, because then you don't let your partner know
No.
exactly what
Yes.
the problem
Yes.
is.
So the biggest communication, the biggest problem here is communication.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there are a lot of women in
Communicating.
marriages that don't have communication skills, that cannot communicate with their partners or their husbands because.
But
if you look at it well, sometimes it's society that has, conditioned some women. Oh, you cannot talk in your marriage. Oh, you can't do this. You can't do that. Religion and cultural stuff. Actually, conditions women to be closed, to not talk, because some women don't want to be seen as okay. When it comes to sex, some women can't even tell their husbands I want it like this because they don't want to be seen a certain way. So that's why she had stomached it.
But isn't part of being an adult and then also going for premarital counseling and all that to teach you as a
Clearly,
woman
no,
going
but
into
clearly,
marriage?
you can see that this woman didn't go for any premarital, and you can also see that maybe she's not even a Christian. You can see that they don't even pray.
Exactly.
She's not a Muslim. She's not,
You've got a
Exactly.
big point.
Yeah, so-
Because for her mother to actually advise her to do that, and she didn't see anything wrong with it, then it's from home.
Right.
What happened
It's
to today? I
from
have a
home.
headache. Tomorrow I have a stomach.
Or lie that you are still in your menses.
or you are not feeling. What happens
This
to
is
those
evil.
two? I used to give you a break in between.
What
Yeah.
if the man is like my husband? He's got her period up.
No, but even the period of sometimes it can fail you.
Yes.
Sometimes
Yes.
women's just
Yes.
misbehave and then
No, maybe he's counting.
Maybe he's counting.
Maybe he's counting.
But this goes to show
me
that
my husband wants to do it every day, man, was 5 days.
you can't do it. Like
I'm down with that.
I'm thinking to myself, if I were to marry, I would totally do it every day,
Right.
maybe twice a day.
But doesn't this go to show that the man cares for her? Everything about her, he knows.
Yes.
Like
yes.
the most,
I think this woman tires.
I'm thinking to myself, if I'm to play the devil's advocate in this, a thought just came to me. What if this guy does everything for this woman, but does not even know how to make love to this person? So it
Yes.
seems like a
So
chore.
it's the communication.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So it's
even
the
that, you have to
communication.
talk to him.
No,
Yeah.
listen, I'm
to
saying
go
that,
this
look,
extent and
for
make
the
anyone...
first 6 months, you are shy, you're a new bride.
Yeah.
For a
For
man
15
that
years.
dotes over the wife, nothing stops you from wanting to experiment things.
Exactly.
The kind of sex I used to have with my husband then is different from the kind of sex we're having now.
Preach.
Because I have told him certain things I like, and he has also come up with certain things that he would want me to do to him.
Right.
You understand? So, I mean, in the beginning, all of you are shy. This
Yeah.
whole thing about,
But 15 years.
but 15
Yeah.
years, by then, you should know
What
how to
buttons
talk, how
take,
to communicate with your husband, and even if it's not verbally, some of us, you are doing the thing, you hold his hand,
Yeah.
put it where you want your hand to be. When you say this and
Sister,
that's irritating, you take it away from there and sort of like, and do your
body language.
Right.
Body
Okay.
language.
if you want to take control, just,
Take control.
do some reverse stagger, so don't look at his face for reaction. You know what I mean?
Rosie's giving us all
All
this.
of these things, And then you kind of like, get yourself into the group and you'll be amazed. The way he enjoys you, if he sees you coming up with ingenious ways of satisfying him, it's going to even excite him the more. And maybe you'll probably even tire him out.
Right.
Because you have really engaged yourself. But if you're always just lying down, he's not tired.
Look, the bottom line of this is she does not like the man. So the things she would do freely and willingly with other people, she's not even feeling like doing it with this person. That's the problem here.
Right.
That's the problem I see.
Well, sisters, I've heard you. And all I can say is, if you're watching us, you actually need to apologize to your husband, go and confess to him, because like Olivia said, karma will definitely come back. And as you can see, nobody really has an advice that will favor you here, because everybody's saying what you did was not so great. In fact, it's not great. So you know what to do. Go out there, apologize to your husband, and you need to stop cheating. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our second story. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Sister, and my sisters are here, and we have actually looked at the first story, which kind of like shook us. It made everybody angry, and we had a piece of advice for and I'm sure listened to us. But now it's time for us to get into our second story. So our second story, dear sisters, I know this friend in my life has had a negative influence on me because I made a certain bad decision because of her. I met her when I traveled outside the country for my studies. She has been a good friend to me and a bad influence on me. This is a friend I can open up to and not feel judged. She loves me as much as I love her. We've been there for each other. Now, here is the issue. My boyfriend and I are planning to get married soon, God willing. He doesn't want her to be at our wedding because, according to him, I don't share the same values with her, and she has a bad influence on me, and I agree with him. I want to cut ties with her, but how do I do it without hurting her so much and creating an enemy? She is a non-practicing Muslim with the European lifestyle, sleeping around. She has always wanted to visit Ghana with me, but there was never a good time. My problem is, how do I stop her from attending my wedding while not hurting her so much? She is looking forward to this day even more than me. You know the feeling of my best friend is getting married. I know how much she would love to be there, and I also do not want to deny her the opportunity of visiting Ghana. My boyfriend thinks I do not want to cut ties with her. I believe it's a gradual process. I cannot just call her and tell her not to attend my wedding. She will break down. This has become a big issue in my relationship. Sisters, do you think my boyfriend is a dictator? And how do I stop her from attending the wedding without hurting her so much? Please let me know when my story will be aired. And yes, your story is aired right now. And sisters, you heard it.
The boyfriend is a dictator.
No.
See, let me tell you something. You see, friends occupy a space in our lives that our husbands and boyfriends and even sometimes parents, siblings do not occupy. Now, you have a friend who has a certain lifestyle. Up until meeting your boyfriend or your boyfriend, you said good things about her, that she listens to you without making you feel judged. Which means that you yourself, you've committed some atrocities that other people would have judged you by.
Exactly.
But your friend decides not to judge you. She's always been there for you. You've always been there. Now, sisters who share a special bond, when I'm saying sisters, not like black sisters, but friends who share a special bond, one just happens to maybe not being promiscuous. Now you know that she sleeps around. When you were telling her your things and speaking, you didn't know she was sleeping around.
And you didn't know she was a non-practicing Muslim.
You didn't know that she was a non-practicing Muslim when you were getting emotionally bonded. Then all of a sudden, you realize And you see, the part that hurts me was that when the man told her that these are the things, she said she agrees with him. Now, when you're in love with a man, sometimes we tend to show our love by, cutting out people who have been there for so long in our lives before we meet this particular man. Sometimes we could be making a mistake, because sometimes this is the very support system that keeps you mentally stable in your marriage. I'm not saying that you go and tell them stuff, but the fact that they are your friends, you can talk to them, you can even go to a salon with them, just go sit somewhere and have a chat. It gives you that mental balance. You don't want to be in a situation where you cut off all your friends and then your whole life becomes the man, and the man has total say as to where you go, where you don't go, what you do, what you don't do, who you talk to, who you don't talk to, who you engage with. Of course, there are certain times that you need to listen to your husband or your wife when they are seeing certain things that you don't see. But listen, how can he say, look, even if you want to cut her off, don't tell her not to attend the wedding.
That's true.
Even if you want to listen to your husband, which I believe that you are being told to do, it's okay to listen to your husband. But do you know do you know how you would feel if it were you? Imagine you had a friend that, and you say that best friend, like my best friend is getting married. That is the kind of feeling that she has. So imagine this was you, and your best friend was getting married, and you were going on and on about how, and then your best friend had to come and tell you that, listen, I need to cut you out because one, you're a non-practicing Muslim. Two, because you've been sleeping around. Now, to start with, how did your fiance know that the girlfriend has been sleeping around? And that also goes to say, look, listen, ladies, we need to learn how to keep our mouths shut when it comes to telling the men in our lives certain things about our friends. Because listen, they listen in that time, they're like, oh, they're in agreement. Hey, this is your friend, she likes life. Oh, this is your friend, she likes chilling. Oh. But when it counts the most, they'll use it against you.
True.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, because you know the benefit to derive from this girl. When I was growing up, even whilst I was still a virgin, I had friends who had done so many things, but today some of them are still very close friends of mine. You understand? So at the end of the day, look, my dear, I can't tell you what to do or what not to do, but I'm just so disappointed that you would even as much as consider your best friend not being at your wedding, just disinviting your best friend from your own wedding. For me, it's crazy. At least let her show up.
I'm even imagining, how do you want to tell her that?
There are ways of distancing. Look, if you feel that now you're married, you've moved on, and she would not help you in your new direction, there are ways of distancing yourself. There are ways of maybe just not keeping touch with it. I'm so tired, me and my husband had to go here, we've been so busy of late. And if she's a well-meaning friend, she herself, once she sees that you are married, she's going to give you some distance to begin with. So I think it should be gradual, because you don't know when you're going to run back to that friend.
Right. See, shopping.
First of all, I think there's something she's done which is wrong, and I see a lot of ladies doing it. You meet a new guy, you start dating, and you start saying bad things about your friends. I don't know why people learn how to do that and why we do it. I don't know what you hope to achieve, but they forget that men especially see these things as, okay, show me your friend, let me show you your character. The moment you've been able to be with this friend for so long, and now suddenly you've met me for a couple of months and you're telling me bad things about this person, I start to think of, if I'm a sane human being, I start to think of you, why are you telling me all this about this person you've known for this long? So that's wrong. And secondly, is she a child? Because if you are telling me your husband thinks this person is going to be a bad influence, or you are saying she's a bad influence, are you being pressured by your peer? Are you falling for peer pressure? Because that's the only time you being friends with a certain class of people would influence you. Otherwise, you can have your own path and she can have her own path. And you meet at the point where you guys have been meeting this entire time. And thirdly, for the man to be telling her to stop being friends with someone or not invite someone to their wedding, it's just unfortunate. And again, I think I agree with Rosie on that he's a dictator, which is a bad recipe for a good marriage, if I should say, because then it means, one, you let go of this friend. Who is to say what's coming next? Next time he says, don't talk to this,
don't do this,
cousin of yours, or don't invite your parents to my house, or don't do this. There is no ending for it. There is no stopping of these things. And it's just sad where the girl finds herself. And fourthly, for me, the fact that you've even agreed upon everything you've been through with this person and all the good things you've had to say about this person, for your husband to convince you to tell her not to come to your wedding, I'm scared. What kind of a friend are you? You know, it leaves room for a lot of things to be thought through properly. How have you even seen this person the entire time you've been friends with them? Do you really care about them? Because when you care about people, you defend them.
True.
Yep.
And clearly you've not done this in the entire time you've sent this letter. So now I'm sitting here, have you even been friends with this person, or they have just been thinking to themselves the entire time that they were friends with you? And the last thing is, she's not even in Ghana. From what?
Exactly.
So this is not someone that is constantly
going to be
in your
always,
life.
you know?
Yes, it's going to be one of those things where you are just chatting, and so you can actually decipher what you tell them or not tell them. And the friendship originally has a boundary that you should be okay with. So for you to be thinking of cutting her off entirely, I'm not sure you see yourself as her friend.
Yes.
Just treat her small. Maybe you don't tell her stuff. You don't really call her, check up on her.
Olivia.
Slowly, but
I hope this girl is not desperate to get married.
Yes.
that's what
That's
she
what it
is.
looks like.
Yeah.
I just hope that that's not the case. Because, you know, when you're desperate, you will take anything that comes your way.
Yeah.
And she wants to succumb to the wishes of her husband to be, because she's probably thinking, oh my goodness, if I don't do what he says, then he could change his mind.
Yeah.
And he could
Then I'm
decide
not a good wife material.
he will not marry me.
How many yards?
But it's better to have a voice. When I say have a voice, I'm not asking you to shout and be demanding and throw your weight
And be
about, you know,
disrespectful.
girl power, you know, you can't come and sit on my happiness and stuff. I'm not asking you to do that. You know, as women as we are, in our subtle nature, in our softness, or how do I put it, in our meekness, we have so much strength. And it's how you use it, and it's how you communicate, and it's how you convince your partner, and how you express yourself to them. Like the sisters rightly said, I was just going to go straight, like Sicho said, straight to the fact that it's a long distance relationship. We have a relationship with a best friend. It's a long distance relationship. And however you want to look at it, sometimes, no matter how much of a best friend you have, when you get married, life happens.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and it starts off, it's amazing how it takes off from honeymoon stage. Phones are off because you're busy doing each other, getting to know each other. And even the whole, the first 5 years, the first 2 years, 3 years, you're trying to find your balance. You're trying to figure out who this man is that I thought I loved.
Then kids come in.
And then kids come in, and you're doing diapers and you're doing this. So it's like your genuine friends actually give you space.
Yeah.
To find yourself, to settle down, and then they actually come back and say, oh, it's been a long time. Oh, hey, Charlie, you know, Charlie, today my husband did this, and you catch up. And you know, that precious time that you spend with that special friend on your of yours on the phone, it's like, even if it's like a 20-minute conversation, it's priceless. You know, so you enjoy that moment, and they understand you, and you go back to your regular routine. And so will your best friend also get busy. Now, I have a big problem with the fact that, like all the sisters were saying, you badmouth your friend so much so to the extent that your husband doesn't want to see her, smell her.
They have no respect for her.
No respect whatsoever. So, honey bunny, I think that this is your mess, and you have to clean up your mess. In doing this, sit your husband down and tell him that this is what the sisters are saying on the show. At least take bits of nuggets from all that we're saying, and then find a way to couch how best to communicate with your husband, which is to tell him, this best friend of mine, yes, we've been friends. Yes, she's not a practicing Muslim, but I've had some kind of relationship with her. She's been like my little sister. Maybe, unfortunately, I said things about her that I shouldn't have said, but she's not a threat to our marriage in any way, shape, or form. And because I appreciate you, and because sometimes some of the men, right, you have to sort of fund their ego. You're having your way, but you need to make them know that you appreciate what they're saying, because that's the only way to have peace. This is if you are not desperate, because at some point in time your voice needs to be heard, and depending on how you come across, your voice will be heard. So let him know that this is your friend, you love your friend, you shouldn't have said all those things about her, but you said them about her. But the wedding day, you cannot not let her not come. If it makes sense.
Perfect sense.
Do you get what I
But
mean? Like,
it's only practicing Muslims who are being invited.
that's a good question, but I don't even want to get into that. Whether practicing or non-practicing, at the end of the day,
Practicing Muslim or no, her name is Irene.
Irene. Okay.
No, but listen.
But the way he...
So maybe she's not
The
even
friend's
Muslim.
name is Irene,
Yeah.
or the
No,
person
but
sending
no, the
the
person
message.
sending the message is called Irene. So maybe
Irene.
she's not even Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah, and she should not be judged for not being a practicing Muslim.
Yes,
The
exactly.
question is, even some Christian people who pretend to be Christians or people who pretend to be Muslims, they don't treat their fellow brother or fellow sister the way the Bible or Quran expects them to treat
That's right.
them. And even them, those people are not even branded, oh, you're not a practicing Muslim, you're not a practicing. Maybe this girl was there for her, listening to her when she was a shoulder to
but
cry
she
on.
actually said it, that she loves her so much, that
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
been there for her and always.
So how does she know? How does she define love?
Yes.
If you love someone and this person also loves you back, you know this, and this is quote unquote your big day, and yet you are willing to side with your husband to be for her not to attend your function. When I was getting confirmed, my best friend at the time was Muslim.
Yeah.
She sat through my whole confirmation process
Can you imagine?
in her mayafi together with her mother and her brother.
Imagine.
You know,
And that is love. Love.
So I just think
has no borders, no boundaries.
Yes,
That love
exactly.
doesn't
So
see
I
them.
just feel, look, listen, and but beyond this, I think that look, how you start a relationship is how it ends.
exactly.
So when you start by allowing the man to dictate to you who is coming for the wedding, who is not coming for the wedding, who you should talk to, who you shouldn't talk to, and yet you cannot even have a say as to who he should associate with. Most likely, there's even some ish girl that you think that Charlie, this girl may be here, but you dare not even open your mouth to say that. Oh, this girl. I mean, you know, maybe he even ran his guest list by Yumpo.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, I think that listen, from the word go, whether the subtle, nature that Libby is talking about, you need to make sure that it will work on him before you even get into the marriage.
Yes.
Because once they have paid your bride price, the sense of entitlement is huge.
It's going to get bigger.
It's huge. It's mega. So if you can't dialogue with him now, dialoguing with him later is going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Because then he's going to be able to, okay, now he's satisfied that you made sure your best friend didn't show up. The next time it will be your mother.
Right.
Here's another thing I
Because your
want
mother
us
did
to...
something that made him feel disrespected.
Yeah.
Next time it will be your brother. The next time it will be you yourself. Don't come home. I don't want to see you tonight.
Here's another thing I want us to look at. You see, when people care about you, they don't want anybody who will hurt you or come and cause you any form of pain. Now, you have gone to paint your friend black to this man from the word go. You painted her black. So he's there thinking, oh, this girl is a bad influence. So for me, that's the beginning of this whole problem. The way you talk about your friends to your partner, that's how they are going to see them. It's like saying when you're married to someone and then maybe you have a small issue in your marriage and then you take it to your family. When you guys have resolved your issues, your family is still going to fight that person and they're always going to hate him. Meanwhile, probably you've resolved your issues to the person and you're okay. That's why it is not right to go and talk about your marriage with your family or with your friends, because your friends are always going to, look at this man, he did this to my friend, he did this, so I don't like him. Meanwhile, you like the man. And it's the same thing in reverse.
You like the way I'm still chopping them.
Exactly. It's the same thing in reverse, that is happening now. You've gone to badmouth this your friend to this man, and he's there thinking, oh, then she's a bad influence. I don't want her around my wife. So he's also acting this way out of protection for you. That could be another school of thought.
Well, you see, he can be acting like that out of protection, but what would come into the marriage
do? Which is
exactly, the wedding.
Yeah.
What will come into the wedding do?
That's my problem.
Yeah.
If you have to
Nothing.
distance,
Exactly. That's
because
why I
you
said
both
that.
agree.
Because after the wedding is over, she goes back to Europe.
Yeah.
She goes back to wherever she's from.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So why, I kind of have a problem with the man especially.
Of course.
Because it's giving me narcissistic vibes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's giving me narcissistic
That's what it is.
vibes. Exactly.
not
Because
sugarcoat
obviously she loves him, she wants to marry him. And if you look at the stages of narcissism or dating a narcissist, the whole thing of love
They
bombing,
alienate
she's in
you.
love.
Yeah.
She's really in love right now. And now he's already starting the alienating stage.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And most times they are even let me see.
Overly protective.
Yes, overly protective,
Abusive.
and
Here's the thing we are
Yes,
not looking
it's
at.
that-
Has this girl gone against what the man has said so far? Because that's when we can now ascertain whether he's a narcissist.
But
narcissist or
that
not.
is why I'm
No,
saying
listen,
that.
but
That's why I'm
listen,
saying
my
that
problem is
it lies on this girl,
Exactly.
right? To go back and do damage control.
Yes.
Speak to this guy in a way and see if he will listen to her. Now, that's how you know, depending on the outcome of your conversation
Yes.
and you insisting that you need your best friend at the wedding, depending on that particular conversation and the outcome of that particular confirmation, then you can be able to make an informed decision. That is where you decide what kind of bed you want to lie in, because if he says no, my word is my word, my word is final, it means that you should know from that particular
Yes.
moment that you have no say whatsoever in the marriage.
That's where the
moving on.
narcissism comes
Yeah,
in for me.
yeah.
So it's simple.
all right, so you've heard everything that the sisters have said, and I'm sure you take it at good faith. But now it's time for us to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll be giving my final thoughts. Welcome back, viewers, and if you're just joining us, this is Sister right here on Citi TV, and we've actually heard two stories. The first story actually made us so mad. Everybody just wanted to, grab the writer and say something to her. And the second story, I wish Irene is actually listening to us, and I hope she's really watching. But before I get into my final thoughts, I want to say a very big thank you to my sisters. Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you for your advice. And I really hope all these people sending this are listening. And also, I think you guys are synonymous to the three wise men in Bethlehem. So here we can call you the three wise sisters on Citi. That's it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show like I did. But sisters, did you enjoy the show though?
It was fantastic, as always.
Okay. All right. Anyway, before I get into my final thoughts, I want to say a very big thank you to our sponsors, Ghana AIDS Commission, Red Ribbon Campaign, Onga, Mama's Helping Hand, and Kel Kids Toothpaste. Thank you so much for sponsoring this show. And remember, you can also send us any of your stories when it comes to anything bugging you when it comes to relationships. It can be a relationship with your family, it can be a relationship with your partner, it can be a relationship in your workplace. So all kinds of relationship. Remember to send your letter to us or an email to us through sisterislive@gmail.com. sisterislive@gmail.com. My final thoughts. I'm going to start with Irene's story. That's the last one. The last story we just listened to. Irene, I think you really need to work on yourself when it comes to friendship, because it seems like you yourself are not really a good friend. Because I don't understand what kind of friend, puts or curbs her friend away on that special day because of a man. Especially someone coming from far away just to attend your wedding. I think you really need to work on yourself, because you have already told us that this friend is someone you love so much. This is someone that will not judge you. If it's someone that will not judge you and you really love so much and she loves you that much too, why would you want to hurt her? Why not have a conversation with her? And remember, when it comes to friendship, we are not supposed to be the same with all our friends. Everybody has, differences. We don't have to be similar with our friends. That's why we have crazy friends. That's why we have quiet friends. That's why we have friends that want to go out, and the friends that just want to say, oh, I just want to chill. That's what makes us special. Our differences is what makes us special. So you really need to rethink. And when it comes to your husband to be, he's not just a dictator, but he's giving us narcissistic vibes. And narcissistic relationships, you need to read about it, because they can actually destroy you emotionally, physically, psychologically. really, you need to read about it because it's not something you really want to get into. Good luck with that. And now, the first story. The one, she had to visit the witch doctor to lock up the manhood of her husband. Sis, I hope you're watching. Please, you really need to beg that man for forgiveness. Go and undo what you did. It might not be easy, but you really don't want the wrath of karma coming to you or chasing you in the nearest future. And remember, that man that you are having an affair with right now, I'm sure he knows about what you have done. He really doesn't care for you. There's a reason why he is called your ex. There's a reason why he's called your ex. Just like the sister said, it's not going to work. Just go and beg for forgiveness and undo what you have done. But a very big thank you to all our sponsors once more. And thank you for staying tuned with us. See you next week, same time. This has been Sister, and my name is Chris Carter. Bye.